4 years after Bob Odenkirk surprisingly proved he could kill on-screen bad guys in a ruthless manner that would make 1980s-era Schwarzenegger and Stallone give pause, the Better Call Saul star returns as Hutch Mansell in Nobody 2. And while not quite as strong as the first film, this is ultimately an example of a sequel that offers the same but different in a suitably satisfying and crowd-pleasing way. I'm Eric Goldman, and here's my review of Nobody 2. Having been revealed to be a former government assassin who'd reinvented himself as a suburban husband and father in the first film, Nobody 2 gives us a Hutch who's fully back into his old contract killer life, albeit to pay off a debt. But when he takes his family on vacation, trying to get what he plans to be a legitimate break from the daily carnage, wouldn't you know it, but the small town they visit turns out to be intertwined with a dangerous criminal syndicate. Don't you hate it when that happens? We've all been there, right? With a script from John Wick screenwriter Derek Kolstad and boasting John Wick's co-director David Leitch as a producer, 2021's Nobody definitely felt like What If John Wick, but with funny man Odenkirk, was really its reason for being.
I'm gonna you up.
By this point, Odenkirk had proven his formidable dramatic skills on Better Call Saul, but this was a guy honed on decades of both writing and or performing comedy, in everything from SNL to The Ben Stiller Show to he and David Cross's classic sketch comedy series Mr. Show. So putting him as the lead in Nobody was a big tip-off that they were playing things much more comedically than John Wick. However, it did so by mostly keeping a straight face, letting the idea of this hitman in suburbia and the escalating violence and chaos around him drive its humor.
Mr. Mansell.
Hey.
Enjoying your meal?
No. I came for the show.
When Hutch tussled with a bad guy, he was an absolute badass, with legitimately thrilling and brutal fight scenes. But the movie also maintained its winking tone to let you know the filmmakers were in on the joke of just how unlikely it was that this dude was the one doing these things.
I'm nobody.
That ain't much of an answer.
Trust me, it's answer enough.
But if Nobody felt like John Wick was the main inspiration in terms of the approach to action and tone, the action in Nobody 2, which is also written by Kolstad along with Aaron Rabin this time, feels much more like a different franchise that producer David Leitch also directed an installment of, Deadpool. This time, the extreme violence gets pushed into much more farcical and visceral but cartoonish places. It's still brutal and intense, and at times it's even more graphic and bloody than the first film. But it's now doing so in a bigger-than-life way that ditches some of the gritty and grounded feel used to house the humor last time. Body parts get blown up, and they get sliced off, while cannon fodder henchmen frequently die in nasty, darkly funny ways. And it's all quite entertaining, but it does feel like it loses a bit of the specific vibes that made the first film work so very well. Yet even as the action gets more outlandish, Odenkirk is still playing Hutch as the same guy, and he once more proves to be a terrific center for this series. The film gets a lot of mileage out of multiple scenes where Hutch tries to not get violent, only for someone to cross a line he just can't abide. And what makes it work every time is you can feel all of Hutch's disappointment. There's a resigned, well, I guess this is what I gotta do, reaction emanating from Odenkirk's genuinely warm, sweet performance. Odenkirk sells how Hutch just wants a nice family vacation, but damn it, now he's gotta take a few minutes to absolutely decimate some thugs.
You guys having fun at the convention?
And, as with the first film, Odenkirk's considerable fight training with 87 North Productions, that's the stunt-centric production company founded by David Leitch and Kelly McCormick, continues to pay off, with him looking impressively credible and believably formidable in his action scene. I mean, seriously, could you have guessed Saul Goodman had this in him?
No escalating. Guys, I'm not gonna fight you. I'm here on vacation.
Taking over for the first film's Ilya Naishuller, Nobody 2 director Timo Tjahjanto brings a slightly more stylized feel to the film that meshes well with the more heightened approach. Though never quite matching the first movie's best action sequences, such as that awesome prolonged bus fight, there are still a lot of exciting moments here. Teamed with cinematographer Callan Green, Tjahjanto adds some great touches, such as a moment where Hutch shoots a bad guy with a shotgun and we watch it from inside a parked van, as the man's body is propelled back into the windshield that the camera is looking through. The film's third act finale showdown is especially fun. It's very cleverly conceived. It takes place inside an amusement park, which offers a lot of very well incorporated locations, such as a funhouse, a ball pit, and a water slide for its many violent confrontations, all of which are escalated by the inclusion of notably lethal booby traps that probably would make Kevin McAllister envious. Amongst the supporting cast, it's good to see the likable group of Hutch's wife and kids, played once more by Connie Nielsen, Gage Monroe, and Paisley Catarath, more strongly tethered to the central plotline this time, while Christopher Lloyd and the Rizzo once more look like they're having a lot of fun as Hutch's equally combat-ready father and brother, although the Riz's role feels a bit like it's shoehorned in this time, as though they finished the script and realized they really should get him back in there. I wish I could say I like Sharon Stone more as the film's main villain, the dangerous and diabolical crime boss called Lanita. Stone is clearly aiming to make this a bigger-than-life, cackling, unhinged type of character, but she feels a bit too stilted and mannered, and honestly, it just never quite lands, and it does make for some of her big proclamations to feel a bit awkward. Better served are John Ortiz and Colin Hanks as two notable locals that she's using to funnel her criminal activities, who have very different perspectives on what they're being asked to do. Hanks is especially amusing, bringing just the right smarmy nature to his very corrupt sheriff who has a very ugly haircut. I'm giving Nobody 2 a 7. As can often be the case with a sequel to an action comedy, Bob Odenkirk's second round of ass-kicking gets a bit more goofy than the first film, in the process losing some of the charm of the original's more grounded, yet funny look at an assassin now living as a suburbanite. But Odenkirk's continued commitment to the role, and director Timo Tjahjanto's flourishes make this an entertaining sequel that proves that there is a lot of joy to still be found in watching this legendary comedian turn into an unstoppable one-man army when they push him too far. For more movie reviews, check out what we thought of Weapons and The Fantastic Four: First Steps, and for everything else, keep it here at IGN.